Welcome back to the Claman Countdown Power Players. It's one of the most recognizable brands, not just in sports, but on the planet. Nike's genesis came from just a handshake and a vision. But at its peak, the sports retailer exploded into a $280 billion global icon that's dressed generations of world-class athletes. From Michael Jordan to Tiger Woods, Alex Rodriguez, Jerry Rice, Usain Bolt, Caitlin Clark, Serena Williams, Cristiano Ronaldo, and LeBron James. But today, the sports giant now finds itself playing defense against shrinking market share, slogging sales, and fast-growing rivals. As Nike fights to regain its stride, CEO Elliott Hill walks us through Nike World Headquarters in the Nike Museum, where the company's past is serving as the playbook for its next chapter. What must it be like for you, who started as an intern, to now be here as the CEO? It's got to be an out-of-body experience.
Every single day it's an out-of-body experience. You know, it's a place that I fell in love with early on in my career and decided this is where I wanted to be. I love what we stand for as a company, the culture of this place, the people around me and the teammates around me make me a better human and challenge me to be a better leader. And we get to celebrate sports every single day. So it's a perfect place for me.
Yeah, and it's a perfect place for a lot of people. Yeah. You look at how gorgeous this is, but it doesn't speak to the hard-driving, competitive sort of zeitgeist that you always think of when you think of Nike.
Yeah, well, I think what we tried to do here is we created this, we call it a campus. We wanted it to feel like a college campus. It's a place where you go to chase your dreams, to find your full potential, meet your friends, maybe your future partner. And so that's why this place is set up this way. And trust me, when we walk around today, you'll see it. It reeks of sports and competitive spirit. It's kind of core to who we are. We come to work every single day to serve the athlete. So it's a beautiful place. And we're standing right here in front of Lake Nike. And we'll walk around.
Quite an original name. Perfect.
Yeah, and we'll walk around and I'll show you. We have like what you might consider an alumni center, which is the Steve Prefontaine Hall. We have what you might think about as like a student center. It's the Joan Benoit Samuelson Center, where we have cafeterias, and then we have 3 gymnasiums and around the place, swimming pools.
A lot of people are jealous listening to this. We're stuck in skyscrapers in Midtown Manhattan and elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly. I think, again, there's a beauty of Oregon here that we wanted to try to capture, and then also surround it with, beautiful architecture to inspire and motivate our teammates, but also to make certain that we're celebrating sport. And you'll see that everywhere we walk with athletes, and there's competition all around us.
Well, let's go look at the timeline and the living history.
Let's do that. June 1 of '88, I started as an intern. Actually, when I showed up there, I accepted the job. And when I walked in on Monday morning, he goes, "Yeah, this will be an internship."
Paid or not?
Paid,
okay.
But an internship just in case it doesn't work out for you or me. And I had just finished grad school, and I have all these loans, and I never told my mother. I never told her that my first 6 months were an internship, but it worked out all right.
It's always nice when HR says, just in case it doesn't work out.
Always gotta have
Thanks for the vote of confidence.
Always gotta have an insurance policy in there, right?
Yeah. The path to victory starts in 1964.
Yeah, and just walked into the Steve Prefontaine Hall, and we have exhibitions that we come through here about every quarter, every 6 months, and this is celebrating all of the different places that we've worked and called our headquarters throughout the years. And I don't know if you saw at the very beginning, it started with the basement of his mother's house, his mother's and father's house, and
yes.
and it's a ode to and a nod to the history of this company, starting out as an American dream, selling sneakers out of the trunk of his car, using his mother's basement, his father's basement as a warehouse, and then here we are 54 years later, and it's a $46 billion American company, and it's incredible.
1971, it goes from Blue Ribbon Sports to Nike, the winged goddess of victory.
Yeah, so, Phil Knight was over in Japan. He saw these shoes that he wanted to import. And he walked in, and they said, "What's the name of your company?" He didn't have a company name, so he comes up with Blue Ribbon Sports. Well, now it's time to start his own company and transition from importing shoes to actually making them. And they had 3 names, Falcon, Dimension 6, and they landed on Nike, the Greek goddess of victory.
Good choice. Catchy.
Yeah. It's,
he didn't love it, though.
No, he didn't love it. He actually said, it's good enough, I'll go with it. And for now, and ended up sticking. But
and
I think
5 decades later.
5 decades later, and I think it makes a lot of sense too. How much of it was luck? How much of it was genius? I think in the reality, like anything in life, it was a little bit of both. But I think it's so perfect for who we are, celebrating victory and athleticism and sports and competition.
There are legions of startups that sold product out of the back of cars.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are. So again, started importing shoes and driving up and down the west coast of the United States, selling sneakers at track meets out of the trunk of a VW van. And so that's really what this is here is to celebrate and to remind all of our teammates that, from where we've come. And when we walk through here, the rest of this is, like I said, this is the Prefontaine Hall.
Yeah, and by the way, they do remember the van. It was Phil Knight's van. Oh my gosh.
We have a lot of times we spend referencing this, and I think really it's a metaphor for our teammates to remember what it takes to do a startup.
Scrappy,
entrepreneurial, like just never giving up, and the commitment and the dedication and the perseverance that it takes. And I think this is a tremendous reminder for all of us.
Yeah, forget the Escalades and the slow, dumb, and happy. You've got to have the fight in you and act like a startup. Is that fair to say?
You have to be like a startup, and this is really what this tries to do here as well. We're celebrating Bill Bowerman, who was Phil Knight's partner, track coach, and the inventor.
Yeah, this guy, he's the one, right?
Yeah, he was a U.S. national team coach of the Olympic team, but also
Phil Knight's coach.
He was his coach, and the two of them shook hands. Never had a contract to start with, $500 a piece. He's the innovator, and Phil was the businessman. The two of them shook hands and started the company.
Would you do that today? Handshake?
Yeah, probably not. And in today's world, can you imagine handshakes? How many deals get done like that these days?
Well, Buffett still does.
That's good. I've had a few of those in my career. But anyway, this celebrates the two of them. Prefontaine, who was many call the heart and soul of the company, and the genesis for us working closely with the athlete. He was at one time the lead and most competitive athlete in track and field in the United States. We worked closely with him on taking insights for what he wanted from product and how we make it better, faster, lighter.
Let's point out, though, that the original track shoes were like ballet shoes. They were just flat at the bottom.
With big, long spikes in them that went into the ground. They were a little bit heavy. And so this is a reference to, people often call it the moon shoe. And it was an innovation at the time where Bill Bowerman was thinking to himself, how can we make the shoe lighter and faster without big, long track spikes? So he saw a waffle iron in his wife's kitchen, and he decides, I'm going to pour rubber into the waffle iron. So that's what we have behind us here. I'll show this to you.
So you're telling me that the R&D department back in that day was the kitchen?
Was the kitchen of Bill Bowerman. And we found recently the actual waffle iron that he used. He had buried it in the back of his yard and in trash. We found it. We still have it. But this is a replica of the actual waffle iron that he used in the kitchen to create that outsole.
Well, the waffle sole was game-changing for track and field.
And here it is right here. This is the moon shoe. And so that's the original moon shoe. And you can see this. A lot of this was cobbled together by hand. And that's what he loved to do, Bill did, was take insights from the athlete, think about innovation, and he actually cobbled these shoes together for Steve Prefontaine.
But you're sitting in Oregon, you, the collective you, sitting in Oregon, cobbling together these shoes. And by the way, this is the original.
Last, yes.
This is called the last.
It's called a last, and that's the form that you use to to build a shoe, and you can see where they've even added some detail here to probably widen the shoe, is my guess, for Steve. And so you have
Customize.
Exactly. That's exactly what he did. Because you want to have the best fit so that when you step out on, or Steve in this case, stepped out onto the track, he had the utmost confidence in his product.
Elliott, how, at 30,000 feet, 50,000 feet, do you go from a small operation in Portland, Oregon, in a basement, selling out of the back of a van, to what Nike's become today? I mean, if you could grab the one characteristic that the company had then to come here today, what is that?
I think it has to start with innovation and our ability to connect deeply and personally with athletes, to understand what they want and need, and maybe couldn't even imagine, to help them perform at their highest level. To me, that's the differentiation for Nike, is that ability to connect with athletes and then translate that into innovative, coveted, beautiful product. And then, of course, the rest goes with storytelling and the ability to pay it off out in the marketplace. And I would say just a group of unbelievably passionate teammates that are dedicated and committed to serving those athletes.
Michael Jordan.
Yes.
The Jordan business, $7 billion a year. Back when he was signed, what, 1984?
Yes.
Nike had this ability to look around corners and see what others didn't. He was an untested rookie. Would that happen again today, here?
Oh, I think, yeah, you have to take bets. By the way, I think it probably is easier to take that bet today than it was then. Because if you think about the size of the company when that relationship started and the bet that was placed, it was one of those bet the farm moments. And, you know, obviously it's paid off for Michael, it's paid off for Nike, and it's been an incredible partnership throughout the years.
I mean, he was a rookie. It's really unbelievable how gutsy Phil Knight was back then.
I think Phil has an uncanny ability to see greatness in talent, whether it's athletes or teammates here at Nike.
Do you?
I think I do. I mean, I would never compare myself to Phil Knight, but that guy has an unbelievable ability to see greatness, and not only see greatness, but he's willing to place big bets. And I think that's the beauty of this place, the boldness of the company. It still permeates today's culture.
I think about Jerry Rice, arguably the greatest wide receiver of all time, and he was a rookie. I mean, he had just been drafted, and then in 1986, Nike takes the chance and signs him. We
signed a guy named Jerry Rice, and all of a sudden he takes off, and it ends up being one of these partnerships, and I think that's the key. It's partnership, the ability to make certain that we are helping him perform at his highest level out on the football field, but we can also help tell his story, so it kind of goes both ways. We're telling his story, we're helping him perform better, and then it's really good for business.
Serena, her comeback.
Yeah.
What do you make of that? That's great for you guys.
It's unbelievable. I'm so excited for Serena. So we dedicated this campus to Phil Knight in his name, and she and I were the ones that had the privilege of dedicating the campus to Phil, and she was here, and we're super excited for her. Can't wait to see what she does.
Coming up on Power Players, Nike is down, but is it out? What plays is CEO Elliott Hill ready to call to put Nike back in the end zone? You are about to see his playbook on the turnaround strategy, when investors and consumers can expect to see results, and how he's going to just do it. And then the box office is ready for its close-up. IMAX CEO Rich Gelfond takes us behind the lens to show how films like The Odyssey and the next Dune installment are helping write Hollywood's next blockbuster script.